Potgieter!
Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is June 30th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, it is Victory Monday. What a week. What a week for Potgieter Peninsula. This podcast has been all over the big boy for years. Years. This is the culmination of tracking the big Potgieter since probably age 16.
This has been a Potgieter podcast for several years. I mean, all these Johnny-come-latelys, as the big boy rumbled around in Mexico earlier this year, made some waves at some majors, certainly in recent years, following his amateur championship. We've been a Potgieter pod, and it's great to see him win it. I will say this. Could have done it, 60, 70 minutes ago. I would have been a lot better. That playoff just absolutely took the life out of me. I could have had to take the life out of the viewing audience. There's you could do one playoff hole where you wait around an extra 15 minutes, but it's dinner time on the East Coast. I'm not complaining. I generally am open to any and all kinds of tournaments. I enjoyed the Mexico Open he was involved in, but that was a stinky last hour or two. I'm just going to put it that way. It's just a bunch of putts missing the hole. It's just a bunch of putts missing the hole over and over again.
Trying to slay some demons. He still got bad. That was an incredible tournament. He was shaky.
No,
it
wasn't. It's not an incredible tournament by any measure.
It was an incredible tournament. It was an incredible tournament if you're an Aldrich Potgieter fan, which is I. On this podcast, am one. I might, it seems like you're not as big of one.
I love him.
He was shaky out of the gates. He got reestablished. He started running the football, reestablished the line of scrimmage, started rumbling downhill on the backside. All you had to do was keep him at full yardages, keep him away when he had to take speed off. That got dicey when he had to take speed off anything. But God, he drove the ball so well.
Like a stallion.
It was incredible.
After about 7 or so. For the back 9, he was just an absolute stallion.
I mean, it's absurd what he could do to a hole. Like when it was at 7 or 17. When he went driver 9 iron on 575 par 5, he hits 370 yard drive. It's 9 iron in. Just insane. They're showing the numbers. It's like he's carrying it 335 yards.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's rolling out like 15, 20. 15, 20 yards. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you could do from a golf course standpoint that can stop someone like Aldrich Potgieter when he's got the driver going. Because it's like he hits mediocre shots and they're still 25 feet away, 30 feet away.
I was trying to come up with the analogy like this. He's a guy who can get a ton of wide open layups and rebounds, but never make the layup. He just has no touch around the rim.
Come on. That's so disrespectful. He's 20 years old.
Oh, totally. I'm not suggesting he can't get there, but it's just sloppy. Then you go to a par 3, and it's like he's playing one-handed with the par 2 because he's got to dial in the spin or dial in the distance control, and then it gets a little dicey. And he's 20. He's great. I mean, he won. He's won on the PGA Tour. He's been in a playoff this year. He's clearly a super talent. I think we're scarred from that one South African championship last year where he was played the worst golf hole we've ever seen from a professional between the skulls, the shanks, the flares, the stubs, all in one single hole.
Was that the Ned Bank?
I think it was the Ned Bank. He was leading it. Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad for Andrew Catalan. I feel bad for Detroit. It was just too much.
Catalan zone always delivers. We're on to the John Deere. I can't wait. I'm just happy about the Midwest swing.
Is Nance going to the Deer, or does he get 2 weeks off?
No, he's not going to the Deer. What are you kidding?
I mean, he's not going. I guess he's going to Scotland the week after. So he's got all eyes on that, and that's it. This is the Renaissance. Okay.
I was on a run this morning, and I was thinking about how awesome it would be if everybody went to the Deer one year.
Apparently, his strongest strength of field ever.
Yeah, all these guys need points. This is what
Jason
making
Day,
the tour. Guess
Ricky.
what? I got a news flash for you. You make the tour more cutthroat. You go down to 100 spots. All of a sudden, guys play more. What a surprise. If you got even more cutthroat, if you went down to 70, guess what? The Deerfield would get even better.
Yep. We're going to get to this in a little bit. I read up on Peppy Peter's, quote, impassioned speech. Yeah. Guys, in Detroit about going to fewer cars, more cutthroat. And now we have, signature events seem to be working. I know you want to make them bigger. You want to have 120 guys in those fields and cut them off and have a cut and all that. But maybe they seem to be working. If it
100 would be great. Masters.
Yeah.
Masters field effectively.
Masters facsimile.
Hey, did you hear this little nugget when they started the playoff that there was a 20, Potgieter's 20, Greyserman is 30, and Chris Kirk is 40. So there's a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, and a 40-year-old. That had to be the first time that's ever happened. It's incredible.
Precisely like the kind of little factoid that would interest you. So, yeah, it is interesting.
It blew my mind.
I'm sure.
3 players exactly a decade apart that all land on 0 numbers. That's just. Also, other thing I heard that I loved on the telecast.
Yeah.
It was a big week for Kevin Waugh, Patrick Waugh's kid.
Yeah. Is it Roy or Waugh?
Waugh.
Is it really Waugh? Okay. No, it's not. All right.
It's Kevin Waugh, Patrick Waugh's kid.
Okay.
Great goalie.
I know that part's not true.
All-time goalie. Yeah. Kevin Waugh. Did you know who his wife is the daughter of?
No. Who?
Chris Sabo. Chris Sabo's daughter.
The goggled Cincinnati Reds third baseman?
Yes.
God.
So he married Patrick Waugh's son, married Chris Sabo's daughter, which made me wonder, is that the greatest athletic pairing of all time?
The genes. Could he be a third baseman? He could be a goalie. Now he could be a golfer. We got all sorts of possibilities out here. You never know. God, it was okay. It was not good. How
about
terrible.
Chris Sabo? I mean, you did not get excited about Chris Sabo. That's an all-time 90s baseball player.
The goggles. That's all I know is he wore the rec specs. He was good. He was an overhyped third baseman. The Reds fans really, really held him up on a pedestal. He's fine. They used to try to compare him to Jim Thome, which was always felt completely, completely disgraceful.
As good as Jim. He was like a souped-up Jeff Blauser.
I don't even know about that. The rec specs are what took him to a different level. The rec specs. He was all rec specs, no cattle. That's what he was.
Chris Sabo got caught with a corked bat.
Of course he did.
All right.
God, I just don't even know what to say. The playoff killed me.
Chris Sabo, career homers.
Career homers, 265.
Oh my God, way off.
How many?
116.
Oh God, I don't know. It felt like he played a long time. Maybe not.
God, he played a year with the White Sox. I don't even remember that. 95.
There's a Sabo who's a golfer at Ohio State, and I always thought it was Chris Sabo's kid because he's from Ohio, but it's unrelated. Probably like Kevin Waugh. This is where this playoff has left us. Talking about Chris Sabo splits and career lines.
Do you think
that felt like an AJGA event at one point because of the dads just getting camera time? Mr. Kirk and Mr. Potgieter just lording over every putt. I'm out. Why is this interesting? Why do we have to put the camera on Mr. Potgieter every 10 seconds? He's always got the same facial.
What else are you going to talk about with Potgieter? He's experienced in whole life. He's 20 years old.
Max
There's not a lot of interesting stuff about him.
Greyserman lost a spike. That was dramatic. There wasn't a lot going on. There were the dads and Greyserman's spike issue. I'm sorry.
I don't think they should have given him time to go in and get the spike fixed. Is that actually going to have a meaningful impact on any part of your golf game? A missing spike?
I mean, no, but in the guy's head, he might think, he doesn't have as much traction.
I'd be worried that I have too much traction. Yeah, I got used to the
your trail
worn down spike.
Yeah, you do. Oh, I see what you're saying. You like a fresh spike might get you too stuck in the ground. You tear your ACL or something like that.
Do you remember what the event of the week was?
The Ike.
Who won the Ike?
I do.
Who was it?
Greyserman's brother. I don't know his first name.
Could have been a huge week for the Greyserman.
Could be Matt. I don't know what his first name is. It's not Max.
Dean. I think there's a Dean, a mean Dean Greyserman.
Was he wearing sun sleeves like his brother? Other
question I had. Do you think that Kuchar flew in?
Well, the shadows were getting a little long there at the end of the playoff. I'm wondering if he wanted to walk in and say, oh, let's push it to Monday. The shadows are getting too long. Hard to see out here on the fifth hole. Greyserman kind of popped the course. He's like, the greens are crusty, and they're redoing the course. The greens got crusty, and he was hitting a lot of putts on that looked good, but just it was an hour and a half of just the ball rolling by the edge. That was the playoff. His quote was something about like, I want to show a good example to Max. He's a young guy he's 30, as we just heard. Not young necessarily. I'm trying to set an example, protect Max, show him the right way. Doesn't have to be bullied around. Detroit, it was fine. God, it was fine. I turned it on today and it was speed wars. It's just guys trying to hit 190, 193 ball speed. Zero consequences for not doing it in an improper way. And, you just send it up in the rough and wedge on and make a birdie putt or don't. And that was the whole tournament. It was Michael Thorbjornsen, Potgieter, Jake Knapp was just touching 196 on the gun. Like, it was just that over and over again.
The reason I think that the playoff didn't hold your interest was that it was devoid of a superstar like Jake Knapp.
No, I don't need a superstar. I just need, something. It just killed me. It was, and we talk about, look, the game of golf evolves. Like, is this golf? Just swinging to 195 and figuring out from there. It seems to be golf at a lot of PGA Tour courses now. If you go back and guys are playing the Haskell ball or gutta percha ball, like, is that golf? Would you consider that golf? Like, what? It's a different game. Are you playing golf swing? Are you playing golf is like the old cliche. But this does feel like a sort of dialed in preset way of competing. It's just everybody try to hit this ball speed. And there's no real consequences, strategy, or repercussions if you don't. And so, like, that feels farther and farther afield from playing an art, playing golf, playing a sport, competing. And I have always thought, like, I generally think to be able to hit those speeds with a modicum of control is a skill. Like, it is a talent. Not everybody in the world could do it, but it does feel farther and farther afield from whatever golf used to be at the turn of the century or 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to look at 400. Like, Detroit Golf Club has a ton of like 400-yard par fours, like 380. The par fours exist in like the 380 to 450 range.
Yep.
I think what you need to know about why Detroit Golf Club doesn't really stand up, it doesn't test players. That's why you see a leaderboard that is insanely bunched. I mean, there was like 12 guys that could win today,
Yep.
And it's because there's no real test. It's not, it's hit drive and then you hit a wedge. And if you wanted to think about it, 450 yards used to be an ass kicker par 4 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When driving distance, let's just say the longest player on tour was 290 in 1995. we'll just say 290, big hitter, huge hitter. You know, they still have 160 in when they hit a 290-yard drive on a 450 hole. Potgieter's hitting a 370. He's at 80 yards in. 80.
I mean,
it's just a lob wedge. Like, all they're doing is hitting lob wedge. It's like, it's great. It's great. We have long drives that are so exciting, you know, but like, guess what? Nobody gives a flying F about the home run derby. Nobody gives a flying F about the dunk contest anymore. And nobody gives two shits about the long drive contest. These are innocuous things. What you like to watch is like the artistry of golf, as you said.
Yeah.
And when a 450-yard hole is reduced to driver lob wedge, you effectively have like no golf courses unless you trick them up, unless you get really kooky, unless they're as firm as a tabletop that can really test players. Because 450 yards is long as shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for the profanity, but
fine.
It's insane how people don't understand the back end of this, why drivers going 380 yards, like Potgieter, it was incredible. It was an amazing, like, two things can be true. I'm amazed at how much control and how well he drove the golf ball, hitting 195 miles an hour on the ball speed. Like, that was insane.
Yeah.
What he was doing on the back nine. It's also preposterous that we've allowed drivers. Did you see Kirk on 18 when he just was utterly disgusted with his drive? And it was just I think it was like a high toe ball that he hit really bad.
It looked
and
like
it just rolls out. And it's like, oh, it went 305 into the right side of the fairway on the 18th hole, like with the lead at the time.
It
clearly
looked like
hit
he was in the batting
cage.
It looked like because it's like he finished like the left foot came out. You know, the driver was like at shoulder height, kind of below the shoulder, like he had just kind of taken one the other way. Was the finish? And 305 down the middle. Look, it's not. This isn't even like a rollback chatter. It's just I tweeted about this. I was watching. It's like one after another. It's Potgieter hits a drive so far right. It's a MAGA ball. You know, the shot tracer that tells you where it's going right away. It went like dark red within a second. Like, oh, that's just gone. And it was just an easy birdie. It was like another, you know, there's no real penalty. It's not that bad. Then you had Thorbjornsen deciding between a lob wedge and a sand wedge on a 430-yard par 4. And you had Jake Knapp. It was like a 375-yard par 4. I want to say it was like 8. And like the trees are no obstacle. It's just I'm going to send this as far and as fast as I possibly can up in the general direction of the green. And he did, to his credit, 340 yards into rough. That leaves you like just a 30-yard rough wedge shot that's essentially almost pin high on a 300. So it was just that over and over and over and over again. And that's the kind of player that was excelling this week.
If you're playing well,
mm-hmm.
if you just hit a drive on the planet and you're hitting it 350 yards, like if you're playing moderately well with your wedges at a course like Detroit Golf Club, it's hard to not shoot in the 60s. It's like very hard not to. And then you like do the math of like, okay, if I shoot 4 rounds of 68, I'm at 12 under.
Yeah.
They need to TPC Summerlin it up here. It's legitimately like a par 66 out there.
I'm a little worried about Rocket. It's like the last year, their deal. I was reading the Detroit News article, an interview with Rolap. And like, I don't know, they don't sponsor it. They're like, would another company jump in? Like, I mean, it's Detroit's biggest company. You know, they obviously, you know, insisted on having it downtown. So, or in the city.
I feel like that's a perfect time for the Ford family to come in.
Well, all their money's tied up in Motor City Golf Club. I wouldn't say all their money. That's probably not all their money, if we're being honest. Maybe their golf interests.
I had another question for you. I came on this pod before this pod. I was saying that we need a good nickname for Potgieter.
Uh-huh.
Had a submission here from Burn It Down on Twitter.
Okay.
What about the South African big dumper? That's the best nickname in sports. Big dumper.
Yeah, Raleigh.
Yeah.
Raleigh. Because he's got a big trunk. He's got a giant booty. Is that why they call him that? Right?
He's the catcher for the Mariners.
Yeah. He's a big boy. He's dragging a wagon. He's got something.
I don't know. It feels a little disrespectful to this.
I was going to say that feels disrespectful to the guy having the greatest season by a catcher in MLB history to this point to compare to Potgieter. But
Potgieter's only 20.
And he's this aristocratic South African genteel, so I don't think he wants to be called dumper of any kind. It just doesn't feel like he probably wants that one. Could be though. We'll put it up for review. Maybe this is the way. Maybe they set this up for young man's game. You got Thorbjornsen, Potgieter. Maybe they just have an event every now and then that's just ball speed wars, and it's just kids coming out, these 20-year-olds, where they just send it all over the yard. And you now have a superstar, quote unquote, you can promote in Potgieter, Thorbjornsen. This is not to suggest they have less talent or skill. It's just obviously a game with which they are familiar. So I don't have anything else on Rocket. Do you?
Listen, if we're all for variety,
killed me.
This is the first event in a while that was like this. So it's okay every once in a while to have speed war.
Totally.
But listen, the
Rocket pays more than $15 million for that.
This is a future superstar.
Title sponsor.
This is get ready for the P Cup. There was no Ryder Cup implications today, none whatsoever.
Greyserman could have fought his way into the spot.
He's not going to play on the team. They are going to put him on the team. He had to get in the top 6. I guess he could go on a crazy run.
That's what I'm saying.
Chris Kirk ain't going to be on the team.
He's played a P Cup before, Chris Kirk.
But anyways, the Potgieter, the implications are Potgieter's coming for the U.S. team, Medina, 2026.
More likely scenario: Potgieter goes the way of
Cam Champ.
That's what I was gonna say. Cam Champ. I was trying to think of the alternative, like Louis Oosthuizen or something. I was trying to think of a South African that's had a strong career. More likely scenario: Louis or Cam Champ. Andy, where do you think he's going?
I mean, Louis?
I'm trying to think. What's the alternative?
It's like
Chris Kirk. More likely scenario: Chris Kirk, who's won 5 times.
Chris Kirk's got 6 wins, right?
6.
5?
I think 5, maybe 6. Yeah. One played on a P Cup.
I think he's going Chris Kirk.
All right.
Okay. Listen, Cam Champ's not done yet either.
Oh, he was sniffing around this week, as you would expect.
They set it up for Gordon Sargent to have a good week too.
He's got a 3M coming up. Cam Champ's done well there. He's just got to get in the field. Yeah, Rocket pays more than $15 million.
Be lit this week. Deer. I think they got Ben James playing. Is Quaven playing too?
They got a good field. They always give out the college exemptions. $15 million Rocket pays for that. They're going to determine if their money could be best spent elsewhere. So that's what they're up for review. That's
not a good phrase for the PGA Tour. that sponsor emission's not going in any sales tax.
They're doing it. We'll talk about it in a little bit on the player meeting. I did enjoy Chris Kirk's scheduling rationale that he skipped the Siggy event because he loves the deer, loves Detroit, just wanted to go to the Midwest and feast. And then feast he did. He was right there. Gets a T2. Do you think that should be a third? Everybody who gets in the playoff, you're a T2. But if you get bounced, first, he objectively did worse than Greyserman in the playoff. But, they're both T2. So Chris Kirk, I like that.
I think it's still a T2.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. There are bigger things to worry about, if I'm being honest. But Chris Kirk from the Kurt Signetti scheduling school. Skip the Travelers. Give me a deer. Give me a Detroit. That's where I'm going.
You can get the Indiana fans upset.
That's fine. Nothing else on congrats to Aldrich Potgieter, and congrats to you, I was out there this Saturday and Friday. Congrats to you on your Oars and Alps. I was lathered up. Everybody at the member guest was lathered up in Oars and Alps. They had it in the locker room. We're getting is this the official golf sunscreen? We're getting pics from New Zealand where there's Oars and Alps. So it must be these ad reads, nothing else, but no, Oars and Alps is hot right now. It's hot outside. You can fuel up, protect yourself from the sun. Men should spend more time outside, they say. Get off your screens, get off your phone, get outside, or at least get on your screen outside. Maybe if you want to do that, but make sure you're protected from the sun. Oars and Alps can do that for you. You go to oursandalps.com/fried egg. Use the promo code shotgun15. Shotgun15 gets you 15% off. They've got the hydrating antioxidant sunscreen spray, the face and scalp mist, which is a good one, a big one. The matte sunscreen stick. We used actually all of these on Saturday at the pool. The Clear Go, we used that one. We had that one out. The kids they go for different stuff. And the everyday anti-aging face moisturizer. It's a good product. This is an easy win. If you're going to get into sunscreen, that's got the chemical free. I don't know. That's probably the wrong term to use, but they mine their ingredients. I'll just put it that way. Passes the Mrs. Egg test. Mine their ingredients. Use the promo code shotgun15. You get 15% off. I'm told, does another podcast explicitly say it doesn't smell like a pina colada? And I think I said it smells nice like a pina colada on the last ad read. Is that what I did, PJ?
You referred to me saying that it smelled like coconut in the U.S. Open Media Center. Which
and NLU, no laying up says it does not. We might have.
I was taking it as a positive.
Okay. I thought it was great.
I liked it. I'm pro coconut. It's on my list of favorite fruits. Is coconut a fruit? I don't actually know, but
go to oursandalps.com. What?
My daughter is just pool crazy right now.
Sure.
And I put my Oars and Alps on. I usually just apply to the face. I'm always trying to, get my shirt, my golf shirt tan a little evened out. I did not expect to be in the pool for 3 consecutive hours on Saturday.
Oh my God.
Shoulders are a little tender, but I think I made a lot of headway in balancing out the tan.
So did you use
Would have applied, needed to apply it. I was in the pool thinking about how much I needed to apply it, but my daughter's trying to swim without her floaty.
Oh God.
just caught in this no-win situation where I know my shoulders are just getting torched.
Sure.
I will say, Will Knights broke out the stick at the member guest. I'd never seen the stick before. I'd never used the stick before. The stick was great.
You like
it? It was incredible. The stick was awesome.
The stick is wonderful. Just throw that in your bag. Just go bingo, bango, bongo. You're all set. All right, let's go to the event of the week for PJ Land, U.S. Senior Open. Padraig Harrington wins out at the Broadmoor.
Hold on.
What?
The actual event of the week, I'll jump in here, was Reed Greyserman without sun sleeves. But
was Dean was in the mix too, right?
Was he? I have no idea. That I can't confirm.
I think Dean. I was gonna just say, I think we gotta respect Potgieter here a little bit more. I think he's making strides as a player.
Put a lot of respect on his name. It didn't look good there. The first 6 holes, you're like, oh, here we go. And total respect for him.
I think he's getting better at taking speed off too, which is a big change. Like he hit a couple nice little flighty wedges. So we'll just.
You can't be a total incompetent golfer if you want to win winning's hard. They say it's hard to get across the line, Andy. So yeah, he hit a bunch of good shots. He's 20.
Peach, me and Dean finished 8th. Dean Greyserman finished 8th. Reed finished 1st.
The Greysermans just cleaning up in the
Are they a big New York golf family then?
Jersey.
They're
from Jersey. So
they all play out at Hamilton Farm, which is where the tournament was held.
Oh, home game. There you go.
Here we go. Home game.
I just blown the lid off this.
I think sometimes playing your home course in a tournament's harder. because you've got like all these bad pictures in your head. You know all the bad places to hit it. You've seen all the bad places. Whereas like the first time you play somewhere, sometimes you're just so naive. You don't really know what's out there. You go through a week, and if you're hitting the ball well, you have no clue there's trouble anywhere.
Congrats to Aldrich, his father, everybody involved. Youngest South African ever to win on the PGA Tour.
Question. Do you think we still will get dad cam now that he's won? Does that subside?
I mean,
is he the new Stephen Schauffele?
I think due to the fact that he's such a physical presence, yes, I think he will be a recurring character.
His expression never changes. It's like nothing interesting about the dad cam.
No, but he off the bus intimidation is there.
Sure.
Who do you think's the first journalist to do a big expose on Papa Dumper?
I'm gonna guess like Evan Priest or some like international journalist in Golf Digest. I don't know.
Basically every golf writer's written about Stephen Schauffele. So
yeah. Congrats
Papa
to
Dumper.
him.
The interviews are coming. I personally love that he wears the exact same clothes.
Yeah, he's got the sponsor, Scratch Golf Tours. Why is he a part of the deal? Is that like a rider on the deal? I don't get it. Bizarre. Anyways, let's go to the U.S. Senior Open. Padraig Harrington wins. PJ was quote unquote locked in. Our friend Kevin Price suggested he could make noise at Shinnecock, which is where he is now exempt for next year's U.S. Open.
I mean, who's to say?
I love Kevin, but that's a preposterous notion. Could he make noise on Long Island this fall in a more recent competition? Ryder Cup, Patrick Harrington, Ryder Cup buzz. We do this every few years. I remember Miguel Angel Jimenez was proposed as in Hipati a couple of years ago.
Why not take them both? They've both won a major this year.
Seems like they may be on the Euro Mule Wheel that we're creating for the one that we're going to go on the Euro side to do the Mule Wheel for Wednesday.
I don't think they have a Mule Wheel.
Oh, they do.
We got a Mule. I mean, Adrian Setier.
He's rounding into form. They have like 12 guys. They have like 14 guys.
Well, they always got to find a 12th guy.
No, they don't. Not this year.
Nikolai was a, not out of left field.
He was a swing.
Yeah.
It wasn't random.
They've always got to find a 12th guy. There's an Oliver Fisher type they always fill out the roster with.
Andy just wants R&P as the 12th man. He doesn't want to go to a Mule Wheel. It's already done. He's decided that his guy is the 12th man.
The most notable thing of the UFC...
They have 6 players in the top 14. That doesn't include John Rahm. 7 players in the top 14. That's fine. 8 if you include Tyrrell and John Rahm. I mean, they'd be the top 16 players. They got 8.
There's always
Shane
Jamie
Lowry's
Donaldson.
not even included in that. Justin Rose is 24. That's like their 10th guy. There's no Mule Wheel for the internationals.
There will be on Wednesday. That's for damn sure.
We have a good list.
All right.
You got to fill out the roster.
Steven Yeager could be on it.
Well, he's kind of lost some of his luster. He's had that big explosion, slamming his club around on Thursday.
That'll get the people fired up at Bethpage, though. That'll get people going.
Event of the weekend.
Rory Canner. Is he on the Mule Wheel?
Boy who lived.
Adrian Setier just won the Italian Open today. Not happier, but Setier.
You think you got Harry Hall on the team? Square him up against Bryson. Have the guy with the Hogan cap knock down the former Hogan cap.
God,
that would be ideal. I think that would be the ideal outcome.
We're just talking about everything under the sun right now. Insane. Chris Sabo, Hogan cap face off. The event of the weekend.
You guys just want to end the show now?
No, we got to talk about Maltby-Gate. Event of the weekend, Maltby-Gate. Dog days of summer when Adam Schupak and Colin Morikawa, a little pissing match, and then we have Roger Maltby gives way to Roger Maltby and Padraig Harrington.
That was just the undercard. That was the undercard for the main event. I mean,
Roger, you were all fired up. Was this Friday night?
Friday night.
You were all fired up about this PGA. We're cooking in Colorado. Things are heating up. You're all worked up. I mean, it was incredible theater. Maltby would not look for his ball.
Padraig Harrington's ball, to be clear.
Producer's orders, allegedly. And, there's a tense issue outside of scoring. A local newsman was on the scene with his phone and got
this poor guy had no idea what he was walking into until somebody tagged us in this tweet, and we just got like over 1 million views. This poor guy had no idea what he did.
Then there's follow-up articles. Maltby goes on the record with golf.com. Says, I can't, he's asking him to look for the ball. He says, I can't do it from inside the thick of the trees. So I stayed outside, and then Harrington walked near me and said, you can help search for the ball. And I just didn't respond. Then they get into it and scoring. Every time I tried to explain to him my position, he said it's poor etiquette. It's golf etiquette to help somebody in search for a ball, and that I should know better after the years of playing. I tried to say, listen, I have a boss. I'm not a player, and if I were a spectator certainly playing with you, I would have helped him search for his ball. But I was under instructions. It just wouldn't work. But he wanted no part of it. I was very close to saying, all these years, all these checks I've gotten from NBC, your name isn't on any of them. I mean, his caddy works for him. So I'm sure his caddy does what Padraig tells him to do, but I have an employer. If they tell me basically what I'm going to do or what they want from me, I have to honor that. But he just doesn't see it that way. So we've got Maltby aggregation articles all over the place. What a turn of events out at the Broadmoor.
This is like a golf advice email.
It is.
Should Maltby have gone? Should Maltby have said no to his boss who needed the on-course report? Which I'm assuming his radio wouldn't have worked in the trees. That's the assumption.
Color me skeptical that I think he's using his boss here as a reason to just maybe stand around and have a smoke. I'm just guessing.
On the other hand, I have like a pretty firm agreement. I have a very firm agreement that I enter every round under the pretense. I don't tell people this on the first tee. I'm not looking for your ball, and I don't expect you to come look for my ball.
And Padraig would say that's poor etiquette.
It is poor etiquette, but not if it goes both ways.
What if you're hitting it down the middle of the fairway, which you tend to do probably more often than you're playing hard? This seems like kind of bullshit, but
this
whatever.
Happened just this week. It was I was playing in 100-degree heat. It was like my 32nd hole, and I was standing in shade in the fairway. I happened to hit it in shade. My playing partners were looking for balls on a sand dune, and I was talking to the other playing partner, and we said, we should go look for that ball. I was like, we should go look for that ball, but it's pretty nice right here, and I'm not going to go look for it.
God, Maltby's a hothead. If you get going at Maltby, he was. I thought he was going to go at him. I thought they were going to have to be like physically separated. I remember at Caves Valley. When
the video's incredible because Maltby's just standing there and he's just like, Maltby's got a very distinct look. He's got like the pants that are like kind of sagging down.
Well, he's got all the equipment.
He's an older guy. He just walked 18 holes. He's got his whole microphone set on.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous that Harrington was so mad.
They're kind of circling each other like two bulls in the ring.
They kept moving. They were the process moved throughout the scoring area. They were bouncing around the ring pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think Harrington's pissed off. He lost his ball and hit a bad shot. It's kind of ridiculous that he went that hard at him.
What a boon for the Senior Open, though. I mean, just literally what content this was. I mean, it was the story of the weekend because Raj was with them on Saturday. Raj was with them today. We just kept following them.
Rolf made it clear that it's water under the bridge. Rolf, who's just
no bad
total pacifist. Yeah,
I did hear that they shook hands. There was no typical Raj post-round interview today for the winner coming off the green on Sunday, but I did hear that they shook hands. NBC missed the shot of it, and then they didn't show it, so they didn't want to go back and interrupt the trophy presentation to show the handshake and bring more attention to it. But I was told there was a handshake, all was good to that end.
3.1 million views on the tweet.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Who knows what the Zaire golf hijack did in nuclear on their own hijack. Question: if the Senior Open attempted to make something viral, what could they do that would get 3.1 million views?
I don't think they could do
What
anything.
would they have to stage?
Well, I mean, did you see the Miguel Angel Jimenez warm-up video? That went decently viral.
I mean, we've been doing that for 20 years, for God's sake.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm simply throwing back the claim of the USGA. What did that get? That got 1.1 million. So, I mean, it's over. It's in 7 figures.
That's fair.
A couple of Senior Tour things that I have no interest anymore in that have been done a million times. Asking Padraig Harrington about how to get your kid into golf.
Oh, God. Did they do that again this week?
Well, it's just like, I feel like it's been 30 times he's had an answer clipped, and people are like, oh, look at this great advice. And it's like, he literally just got asked that 2 months ago. And the same thing happened. Or Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Stretching.
Warm-up routine.
Yeah.
Darren Clark with like a cigar in his mouth.
Cigarette. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I'm trying to think of other
they're
ones.
Playing the hits. They're like a band that, their best days were in the 90s. If they're on tour, they're not going to want to hear the new stuff. You got to play the hits with the old timers.
I mean, I will say the USGA was tweeting through it this week. I mean, obviously, this is not a PGA Tour Champions event, so the USGA had the full reins here, and they were tweeting through it pretty heavy. A lot of highlights, a lot of live cutting. I don't know if you guys saw, but, Billy Andrade's back clenched up on him on Saturday, and he was hitting shots.
That's
like
awful.
Just straight up falling over because he couldn't make a backswing.
God.
And they kept posting it on Twitter, and it did pretty well. They were tweeting through it. The USGA account was tweeting through it pretty heavy. Honestly.
I did notice they had a little bit of voice at the Oakland. The USGA's like, they're not above making some of the up. Yeah, they had a little bit of cut, a little edge to them. That's good. Is there anything about the actual event we need to care about? PJ Potty wins.
He won. I mean, Stuart Sink had 2 birdie putts on 16 and 17 that he needed to make to tie that he just didn't, and kind of was leaking oil on the way in there. So Padraig, I wouldn't say he necessarily went out there and took it today, but he landed the plane and didn't let anybody take it from him.
Good. You know what we need to get? The kitchen then. Perfect practice putting mat. Sounds like leaking oil all over the place. He needs to go to perfectpractice.com and use that promo code SGS. You get 20% off. It's also at retail stores, including Dick's. Maybe there's a Dick's in the greater Colorado Springs area. You could have gone to that.
Dick Open is coming up in a couple weeks. Stu can stop by there.
That's true.
I got a little anecdote here.
Okay.
Neighbor kid on the street, young hooper. He plays all the sports.
Good.
Hoops,
I love that.
Football.
They make you choose these
baseball.
days.
Hurt his knee. I mean, the kid was devastated. He was told he couldn't move for 8 weeks.
Okay.
So, the only way I practice putting is with my perfect practice putting mat. To be completely, this is an earnest statement. I know it sounds like an ad, but that is the only way I practice my putting.
Yeah.
And it keeps me actually kind of sharp. I really enjoy it because I've said this before. One of the drills I love the most is a chalk line. It has a chalk line on it effectively.
Yeah.
I just think if you hit putts down chalk line or down a ruler, it's basically you're rolling the ball perfectly. So anyways, this kid's devastated. He won't come out of his room. He's playing video games all the time. This is a kid that's outside shooting hoops all the time.
God, love this kid already.
So I roll up my perfect practice putting mat, get a putter, some balls. I bring it over there. Kid's been practicing putting.
Really?
Just getting into it. Yeah. We had a putting contest the other day.
You're just this magnanimous neighbor. This is straight out of a 1980s sitcom or this is the good old days when neighbors would pick each other up.
But the big issue is I hadn't played golf in a month before my latest golf trip. I didn't practice putting at all. I go out. I didn't make anything for 2 days. Nothing. I was horrible.
Sounds like a plea for them to send more product.
Being a good Samaritan is costing you. Helping out a kid in need, and you can't make a putt anymore.
So anyways, I think this putting mat is like legit. It's okay. I putt really well because I use it.
All right.
And that is my earnest ad read. And
you can too.
I've wanted to putt on it a lot, and it's gone.
Well, you were.
I don't know when can I go back and get it back.
I don't know that you can.
I take it back? Is a question.
I don't know that you can. I think it's gone until he brings it back.
I also would like the putter I gave him back because it's a nice putter.
What were you thinking?
Well, I don't have any shitty putters.
A moment of weakness, I suppose. But yeah, no,
I feel good about what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. You should. That's great. Get it. You're growing the game effectively.
I am growing the game.
You can work on your putting if you go to perfectpractice.com. And SGS is that code, 20% off. That's a good chunk of change. SGS is the code. Anything else, PJ, on the Senior Open? Are we okay to move on? You want to hit us with any interesting nuggets?
Yeah, I'll shout out, Andy. This is for you. I've been told by multiple people to bring this up just to get your Big Ten input here. Purdue head coach Andrew Sapp made the cut and was kind of loitering the top 10 for most of Friday afternoon.
Purdue head golf coach?
Yeah. Yes, head golf coach.
Okay.
And he finished T50. He had a very, very bad day today. But I was told to get your take as resident Big Ten golf expert on whether he has taken the lead for
this
top.
Sounds like a question that Brentley asked you to ask.
It's actually not. I did hear about it from Brentley, but I actually got it from other people as well. I will not throw Brentley under the bus here.
Well, he's going to take more than one good performance from the Sap man, from to get to overtake Mike Small's record.
He's legit. Hey, did you look into the reinstated AM issue, PJ?
I did. Okay. I did look into that too. I kind of dug in there.
Andy, this is ridiculous.
This is kind of ridiculous. So Chris Devlin is the guy's name. He won the Alabama. He played at UAB. It was the guy who effectively recruited Graham McDowell to UAB and got Graham McDowell stateside. He won the Alabama State qualifier by 17 shots, I think it was. To get in, he won like the senior AM to then qualify for this, but has not been listed as an AM on the USGA scoreboard all week. So what I could find, he like bounced around KFT and other like minor league tours for a while until he got sick and then regained his AM status in 2019. But maybe now he's trying to go back on the Champs Tour.
But did he earn his way into the U.S. Senior Open via an amateur qualifier and then turn pro in the intervening weeks because there was a payout at the major?
That's what I couldn't entirely figure out.
Like
it looked like he got the spot from winning the Alabama State Senior Open amateur event and is not listed as an amateur now.
All right, we'll have to look into that a little more. Feels like
I was just scrolling.
As you could probably imagine, there's not a ton of information about the amateur status of whether a senior player is an amateur or a professional golfer.
Okay, all right. What were you looking at?
I think you need to just do some interviews, PJ. Yeah. Get in there, ask people some hard questions.
Yep.
Similar to what you asked the Governor Shapiro.
So Brian D. Pasquale is retiring. Great guy. Great chap at USGA. Yeah. Great guy. Great attitude.
Just send him an email.
Just awesome. So, before you retire, can you clarify this amateur status issue from this week? Brian's the man. Okay.
Hey, BP, did you see the big trade this weekend?
I was going to say, we do have to talk about this. This has been requested.
I mean, yeah.
This is such a Bulls trade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just so like ridiculous.
Total spare part for us at this point. Maybe Lonzo, there's like, something hits for a stretch of games or the playoff. Like, yeah, it's unbelievable.
I have this group chat about the Bulls. Everybody on the chat except for one friend is like so out on the organization. But the one friend then will argue the entire time about how good of a trade it is. And I mean, this trade breaks, and it's like, well, we just traded for a guy that can't play in the playoffs.
I mean, he'll probably do well if for a team that's winning 30 games and he's going to play 30 minutes or whatever.
But he can't play in the playoffs.
Right, precisely.
And we traded a guy that, yeah, he's going to be injured some of the year, but he's a legitimately good basketball player when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Like, he could play in the playoffs. I don't understand it, and we got nothing else.
Do they need more, like, on-ball defense?
This is almost a year to the day after we traded Caruso for Josh Giddey straight up. Didn't get anything. Then Caruso basically won the Thunder championship.
Somewhat not. I mean, all right. There was a little bit more there, I would say. But yes, he was a linchpin of sorts. Yes. Someone did the whole like lineage of like the amount of draft capital that like the Bulls have gotten from. It's like nothing. They've gotten rid of all these guys.
It's the worst. It's the worst organization I think in all of sports. I can't think of. They've never paid the luxury tax, and we've led the league in attendance basically for the last 25 years.
Yep. Let's go to LIV. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
fans
Lonzo
have
Ball
to stop showing up. They got to boycott the team.
I think you guys are you're letting them be bad actors by showing up.
Hit them where it hurts them most, the pocketbook.
LIV Dallas.
Not anywhere else. That's where it hurts the rhinestones the most.
Playoff P wins in LIV Dallas. He's playing the Open Championship where he played well at Port Rush in 19. It was a four-way playoff with Paul Casey. Who else was in it? Jiro Kasuma, Patrick Reed, and then who was the fourth guy? Tyrrell Hatton?
Louis was in.
Louis. That's right. The Stainers look like they just came over from Denton. They were playing golf at University of North Texas, the mean green. Those just ridiculous uniforms is basically what they look like. But Louis did get in the playoff.
What's their mascot, North Texas?
Mean green. The mean green.
But they have like a eagle or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Scrappy the Eagle.
There's gonna be
Scrappy is incredible. I love that. That's
the Ryder Cup discourse.
Great mascot.
That's incredible.
The Ryder Cup discourse is going to pick up around Patrick Reed. And where do we land on this? The Crushers, by the way, won a three-peat team win, 3 in a row for the team on the team side for the Crushers. Bryson was happy about that.
P. Reed should be more deeply considered than George Spieth. That's where I'm at.
That's not going to happen. Do you expect that to happen? I mean, I'd not say it's a crazy suggestion. It seems unlikely that he will be more deeply considered.
Top 25 at Oakmont. Third place finish at the Masters.
Playing well.
Second place at another OWGR event this year.
He's going to Germany now. He said he's going to play the OWGR or go to play the DP World Tour now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he plays well there. Wouldn't be surprised if he plays well in Portrush. Would love to get him on the team. Playoff P. Would love.
Be good for content.
He's the 23rd player to win on LIV in whatever it's 30.
I just realized I'm blocked by him on Twitter.
I am too.
I don't ever do anything. Never tweeted at him.
Yeah. Oh well. He's appeared on your website this year. So, but you're blocked.
Right. That's true.
Friday Golf. Great interview with Joseph Lamagna. I don't have much else from LIV Dallas. Sergio's getting to the Open on the points list. Beats out David Puig, so he'll be at the Open. The Brooksy, smashes his club. Tomahawks a tee marker. Smashes that. WDs with the illness of sorts. I don't know if the illness was it's going to be 100 degrees in Dallas for the next 3 days and I got to play golf. I don't know what the illness was. But then it was like he may come back for the team competition. Like, this is just Mickey Mouse stuff. Like, you could WD, throw a temperature, WD because you're hurt or sick, and then come back on like Saturday or Sunday to put up team scores. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. It just doesn't feel real, like a real competition.
Why was it on FS2? What sports knocked it out of FS1?
On June 29th? I don't know.
It's wild, right?
That's kind of tough. Yeah. Kind of tough. A lot of tweeting about the celebrities that were there. You know, the Cavender twins, I guess, were there. Chris Tucker, Dennis Quaid, Eric Dickerson, and Dammy Amendola, according to Josh Carpenter. So I'm not familiar with I'm familiar enough with the Cavender twins. They apparently have a lot of followers on social media.
Are they like the who's the painter, the Pointer brothers?
No, I mean, I think they're real athletes. The Pointer brothers are just two little peckers making videos on TV, on social media.
Who won the LIV duels?
Good question. I have no idea. Forgot it even happened.
I believe it was Jon Rahm and disgraced PGA Tour member Wesley Bryan.
Disgraced.
Suspended PGA Tour player.
Did Rahm's top 10? Oh, he T11.
Yes, he finished at 11th. Yeah, that was my one other note if you didn't bring it up.
Good stuff.
It's over. Ironman streak on the 30th anniversary of Cal Ripken playing in 21-31. Jon Rahm's Ironman streak has come to an end.
Were you even born when Cal Ripken broke the record?
Andy, I'm 26. It happened 30 years ago. No, I was not even close to being born.
God,
that was 30 years ago now?
I remember that vividly.
I think it was 30 years ago today, I think I read.
God, it's crazy. Man. Italian Open, Adrian Sadier in his sadder, not happier, wins at this goofy golf course on the peninsula in Tuscany. He said he's canceling his flight now to the Barracuda because he got in the Portrush. In his 200th Euro Tour start, he gets his first win. Another Frenchman win. French golf has been having a great few years. He wins the Italian Open, a national open, and is now in Portrush. So
should
that's
I
your
cover the CUDA instead of the Open?
In Reno?
Yeah.
Apparently it might be the last CUDA.
Last CUDA, last Rocket. What happened? What happened to the golf I love?
What happened to the game I love? Who won the Corn Ferry Tour event at
I was looking at this.
I was just looking at it. I wanted to talk about Cole Hammer. This is at the course you love,
Panther Creek.
Yeah, Panther Creek,
Springfield.
Yep. Looks like did Austin Smotherman win?
Yeah, Smotherman won.
Yeah, he's
second time this year.
He's a 4A guy. He's a good 4A
around
guy
for a while.
Smotherman. Yeah. But Cole Hammer, did you see this? Cole Hammer tipped off Nelson Ledesma's caddy on the club he hit into a par 3. Said, put a 4 up, I believe. And was thinking about it that night. He's like, I think I did the wrong thing. He asked like other pros, and they're like, this happens all the time. And it ends up, he goes to the rules officials, like, I did this. This happened. It's been weighing on me. He gets DQ'd. Ledesma gets DQ'd. Cole Hammer didn't know that was going to happen. He goes, I didn't think that they would, the Ledesma would be disqualified. I just thought since I was the one who gave the sign that I would be disqualified. And I thought that was the worst case scenario that could happen. They both get DQ'd. Dairy Queen from the principal charity class or Memorial Health Championship. Tough one.
Well, I mean, Nelson shot 73, so he's going to get DQ'd on Friday either way.
Yeah. Not suggesting, he was going to win. It does happen. When Brooksy in the Woodland thing, it was 15 at Augusta. People are saying this happens all the time. This is just how it works. This happens every day, every single round. And you got Cole Hammer, turns himself in and gets both guys DQ'd. I don't know. It's not the biggest crime in the world, but they're following the letter of the law, I suppose. So.
Do you think if Alvaro gets up to the bigs, he's going to go to the fireballs?
Quiros or Ortiz?
Alvaro Ortiz. Or is he Torquay? It's Carlos Torquay.
I think he's Torquay. He's
Torquay.
That's your KFT event. Congrats to Austin Smotherman. A lot of news from the player meeting that they had. Peppy Peter gave an impassioned speech, according to Mark Hubbard. Matt Kuchar characterized it as an apology, though. So I don't know how you get such
an apology?
Yeah, I think because because Peppy Peter, he's so self-deprecating. He's like, nobody knows who the hell I am. Nobody cares about me. I suck at golf, essentially is what he says. He's so self-deprecating. He's like, I'm sorry, we lost spots. We lost 100, 25 down to 100. It's more like, I think that's how Kuchar got to the apology characterization. But he did say, we have to think longer term. Like cutting the spots has been better for our product. It's like hurt me. It's like essentially I'm cutting off my own head. This is Adam Schupak article. He of the Colin Morikawa fame did some real reporting on the player meeting and roll-ups situation in it, and then Peppy Peter's speech. And this is to Schupak. He said, seeing the success in renewing full field title sponsorships for long-term deals in the $9+ million per range, that's impressive. So while we talk about Rocket and Kuda, he does say that like it speaks to the fact that these full field events are getting good value now. It's marked and measurable to see the fields are stronger than they were when the invitational events that had 120 player fields. And obviously the first year of signature events, they still played at their regular field sizes. That was crushing full field events, and sponsors were really concerned. And now to see the momentum where sponsors are back supporting the full field events at really nice purse levels, that's a huge win for the entire membership. So he's suggesting the similar thing we talked about Deere's strongest strength of field in its history. That having these smaller SIG events has created
and only
these
having
better
100 cards. Don't forget that. That's like a huge part of it.
Needing points. You got to accrue points. Has created these full field events where the sponsors are a little bit less crushed than when the first rave of SIGgy events was 120 some. So maybe the whole thing's working. Maybe there's some slight tweaks. It does feel like that. And, he said this system is aspirational. The funnel is small, but the opportunity is there, and it's still objective. It's still golf. If you shoot low enough scores, you will be there. And he cites, Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak and people like that who've been able, JJ Spawn, who wasn't in anything and now is in everything. So, like, it is aspirational. The funnel's small, but you can get there. So, they're fired up about roll up and Peter.
Isn't it amazing
Peter.
that Kuchar's spanned the career of a star, and now he's a mule, saying that Malnati apologized to all the other mules because Malnati was effectively the mule representative on the policy board that turned his back on the mules.
I like that last week it was Adam Scott and Tiger doing the speech at the player meeting, and this week it was Peppy Peter and Detroit. Kuchar had some other quotes to Schupak. He said he liked the quote unquote new guy. I thought it was awesome to hear that from the new guy. He has no agenda. He's an outsider trying to figure out what a great way to start. So he's fired up. He said Roll-App's going to speak to 100 members before he even starts and intends to speak to the entire membership during his first month on the job, asking them each 3 questions. What do we do well? What do we do that you don't like? That's just going to be, those meetings are going to suck. A lot of bitching and moaning.
And then what can we do better? Down with Lanto.
Yeah. And what can we do better? He's going to speak to the entire membership on the first month of the job. That's per Schupak's report.
Do you think he's going to ask for a raise halfway through?
I mean, that is God. Guy's doing everything. He's number 2 at the NFL. Then, like 2 months later, he's talking to Tyler Duncan about what we don't do well and getting chewed out about this and that not chewed out, but whined to.
I would love to know who gives the shortest answer, and my early odds are on Cam Young. He asks Cam Young 3 questions, he gets like 20 words back.
You never know.
And he'll be like, oh, that was great.
But yeah, signature events seem to be working pretty well. We'll talk more about that Deere strength of field. We're going to be back late Tuesday. You got anything else? News?
Well, we'll be back 3 more times this week.
We got Tuesday, Wednesday CBS.
CBS Sports. Not in the big CBS yet. I think, I'm sure they were talking about it.
Well, I mean, the Team Europe Wheel of Mules could get us to the big CBS, but you don't want to do it. So you're kind of shooting our own foot here.
I mean, what's the soap that's on in the afternoon on CBS? Young and the Restless that we could preempt for the Wheel of Mules? What can we get? Elbow our way.
We've seen what happens when the golf runs into like the Olympic trials or the
we could
Oscars.
Be the ire of the angry tweets. That could be us.
Imagine what would happen if we bumped into the Young and the Restless.
Only Wednesdays though. Just then you can get back to the soap opera arc on Thursday. That'd be good. Yeah, we got a lot. Friday is going to be a big golf advice show. Send golf advice. We're going to record that early Thursday. I'm going to Ohio and back, and then back to Ohio for funeral and 4th of July. So we got a lot of traveling. 3 more shows. We're going to make it work. So
maybe we could talk a little bit about Cleveland. I saw a social media post about downtown Cleveland could use a little bit of Pittsburgh.
You didn't see it. I sent it directly to you. There wasn't like out in the wild.
Came across my desk.
Get out of here. We'll be back. It'll be a great land of champions, Cleveland, Ohio, 2016 NBA champs. Yeah, it'll be good week. But yes, we'll be back with you on Tuesday night. What?
You can go hang out with Lonzo Ball. I love Lonzo. I honestly he's like one of the most fun basketball players to watch.
I mean, LeBron's trying to engineer his way out. I saw that all over Twitter today. Coming back home.
It's
wrapping it up.
It'd be perfect if the Lakers, if Cleveland traded Mobley, Mitchell.
Stop.
And
it would be like
LeBron.
Garland, Strus, and Jared Allen, I think, would be the 3 that they'd have to move for 1 year of LeBron.
No.
It'd be just so perfect for the franchise to do that for a 3rd time. Just hand over everything to LeBron.
And Bronny. Bronny has to come too.
All right. That does it. We're all over the place. I apologize if this wasn't our best episode, but that playoff just took the piss out of me. Took the life out of me. But we tried.
Don't apologize. I think this was a good episode.
There was some good news in there. Yeah.
I wouldn't you were trying to come on here and defame slander the big dumper of golf. And I'm not allowing
anybody. I wasn't slandering Eddie. I mean, senior golf is having a moment. PJ's doing well there's Maltby fights. It's good. I was in a golf shop today.
I gotta go cook dinner.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get the hell out of here. Talk to you on Tuesday night.